From the gun again on first down. Fires wide. Juan Daniels, touchdown, Georgia.
This is your favorite receiver, Juan Daniels, and you're listening to the DGD Podcast with my man, Robert Reynolds. Go Dogs!
Welcome to this episode of the DGD Podcast. As always, Daniels. Juan, it's Turkey Day Eve. It's hate week. It's time to crush those nerds down there in Atlanta. I'm telling you, you've played against it. I'm telling you right now, it's hate week, and I'm excited for 1, Turkey, 2, beating the shit out of those Yellow Jackets. Well, As always, guys, look, finding us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. You'll hear this on podcast whenever, wherever you get your podcast. Just want to say, it feels nice to be 11-0, doesn't it?
Oh man, it's great, and you have to look at all these other teams that are trying to battle to get in that Final Four. They have to be jealous of where we're sitting right now. We're in a great position. Obviously, we want to close this thing out. I'm not really thinking anything about Georgia Tech. And I know everybody's like, oh, don't overlook and don't, sleep on Georgia Tech or sleepwalk through it. We're going to sleepwalk through this. It doesn't even matter. We can play third string guys and pretty much beat them. Notre Dame smashed Georgia Tech 55-0. So they're already demoralized. And this is going to be our opportunity to really, really just drive it home. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
You know what, though? There's one thing. If I could have a Christmas wish or a gift early, it's for George Pickens to come back and exact revenge against Georgia Tech from 2019. Look, I think that guy still might have some helmet pieces in that wall. I'm just saying. But honestly, look, I think you look at it this way. Last game before SEC championship game, which is now confirmed, Georgia-Bama. Tell you right now, that's going to be a damn good game. Damn good game.
Oh, yeah.
But looking at this game right here, the opponent being, our rival, right? Superior mismatch, right? It's just drastic mismatch of epic proportions. But I would think this, Kirby is not going to let these guys sleepwalk through this game. I think we've seen this all year. I think there's a mission, and he has these guys completely sold on what that mission is. And I think now that we see it, it's right there. There's only potentially 4 games left between us and something we haven't done since 1980. So these guys, I'm telling you, are not laser focused. But you're right. I think you could still take your threes and start them the whole game and still beat them by 40 points. It's so bad. It's so bad. We'll go over here to there we go. Clean old-fashioned hate. Yeah. Thanks. Speaking of YCN here, the show that you see now, if you haven't noticed on our channels, you're seeing, not only Georgia content, but you're seeing Ole Miss content, sometimes LSU, Bama content, and that's a part of the Y'all's Conference Network, YCN for short. So you'll start to see that more so moving forward. The DGD Podcast is glad to be a part of that network. It's great. It's a great network, growing rapidly. And as you can tell, YCN is in the chat, in the brigade, talking about it. And
that opening video was pretty awesome, man. With the little Superman theme. So if that doesn't get your blood, just all ready to go, man. Maybe you're not alive.
I'll tell you what, it can get you started, but boy, oh boy, we've got something at the end of the show today. I think we're going to start a tradition to let it run every single show, because I want people hyped up from start to finish, and you'll understand later what I'm talking about. But look, we've got a lot to talk about, Juan. We have a lot to talk about. First off, Brigade, hello. It is Turkey Day Eve.
What's going on,
Brigade? To having a great show today. Obviously, stick around for Q&A as well after the show, guys. But look here. Obviously, we're talking about Georgia Tech. Oh, goodness. Looking at what they're about, I mean, there's really the only thing they've got, Jeff Collins, the only thing he's got is a fancy slogan here and there, and then his Waffle House Cup, just overdone. It's a shame that you have to associate Georgia Tech and damn Waffle House. I don't like it. I don't like it. I really don't. But, looking at what this right here, is there any position that Georgia needs to focus on? I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse because, look, this team is trash. All right, it's pure garbage. I do like Gibbs and Sims, but that's about it. I can't name anybody on defense. That just tells you that just tells you the defense and how bad it is. Gibbs and Sims I like, but that's about it. Look, you've played against them. What do you think this is a rivalry anymore still? Or
it's not. I mean, you have a situation in which Georgia Tech wins maybe every couple of years. When I was there, the 5 years I was there included the red shirt, never lost to them. I never really looked at them as a rival. We didn't get up for a Georgia Tech game like we would for, say, an Auburn game or a Florida game or something like that. And and it's kind of sad because you go back through the Paul Johnson years. I think they snuck up on us maybe once or twice, but after that, it just complete domination by Georgia, and expect that this weekend. It's just going to be an absolute hammering. I mean, it's going to be bad. And it should be, because the one thing that I love about this Georgia team this year is at no point in time during any game have I ever said, okay, here we go back to that same old Georgia playing down to the competition. What they've done is, no matter if you're ranked number 8, 2, 3, whatever, 15, or Georgia Tech 150 millionth, they're going to beat you. And they're going to absolutely hammer you like they're supposed to, because they're preparing for something bigger, which is going to be that SEC championship. And I know Kirby's going to come out or the coaches and players say, oh, we're not overlooking this game. You're overlooking this game. I'm a player. I know it. You know exactly who you're gunning after. They're gunning after Alabama. They're polishing up. They're going to get some guys healthy. But they're just going to go run through this game, get their starters out, rest those guys up, and then just focus on that SEC championship.
Yeah, Nate. Look, coach, you can hear what a coach has to say, but at the end of the day, like underneath it, I think everybody that's a Dog fan understands that this game is about to get ugly fast, and it don't matter who you play. You could put this ain't Paul Johnson, but put my ass in at quarterback, and I'll show you how to score 30 points. All right, that's how we do. All right, that's just what happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Juan, to see our defense score more points than they can score.
I can see that.
It's not a stretch. It's not a stretch at all.
Georgia Tech will not score. They just got absolutely obliterated by Notre Dame. It was bad. It was absolutely bad, and I expect the same exact for this. And then again, after this weekend, you're going to really start to see the college football picture just kind of open up a little bit more. And then of course you're going into those championship games. So it's going to be really, really good.
Oh no, you look at this right here, right? Like I said, technically you look at a rivalry game, right? It's rivalry week. Looking at the Egg Bowl Thursday, which is a great game to have on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
But then you have the Iron Bowl. You have the game, right? You look at Ohio State and the team up north. All of that right there is setting up for a really, really great week of college football. Also, a lot at stake in regards to the playoff rankings, things like that. So, just yesterday, obviously this is not our Thursday, Friday typical show. This is a special Thanksgiving Day special. But yesterday, the playoff, last night, I should say, they came out in top 4 in order. You're looking at, Bama dropping to 3, which is surprising, but we'll talk a little bit about this. Georgia number 1, no doubt, no question. Ohio State jumping Bama at the 2. And then you've got Bama at 3, and then Cincinnati making history for Group of 5 at 4. Looking at Michigan and Notre Dame being the 5 and 6. To me, I want to get your thoughts here on this playoff ranking, how it's settled, right? To me, I look at it as it's being kind of telling. there's some things to look at and what the committee's trying to show and foreshadow. But what are your thoughts on the top six? Do you agree with it? Did they get it right?
I agree with it. They did get it right. With Ohio State, a lot of people are surprised. Why is Ohio State up there? Well, CJ Stroud right now is playing lights out. And then he's got all three of his top receivers. They got a great running game, and they absolutely just destroyed a pretty good top-ranked Michigan State team, and it wasn't even close. I mean, it was an absolute beatdown. I really feel like they're going to go up there and they're going to probably smash Michigan. They've had Michigan's number for a long time, but with Michigan being at number 5 or number 6, that's just going to add to their resume. Cincinnati, that's the one that's just it's just tough. I mean, they just have not played very well. And they obviously they had a pretty good game against SMU, but that was the only game that they actually came out there and really just destroyed and beat someone. Notre Dame is sitting really pretty right now.
They really are.
I am not a Notre Dame fan, but they are sitting in a really, really good space because Ohio State will beat Michigan. And then depending on, if they're going to say, hey, Alabama with 2 losses, and then again, this is just me predicting, Alabama with 2 losses, they can't justify putting them over a Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is that team that the coaches and the public, everybody, they just love them for some whatever reason. And if they have an opportunity to get Notre Dame in in this playoff, they're going to do it by any means possible. So to sit there and say that, Notre Dame will not have an opportunity to play over a 2-loss Alabama is going to be tough. They smashed Georgia Tech, which they should have done. They're playing really good. They play Stanford, the team that, and I'll actually be at that game. I think that's going to be an absolute beatdown. I mean, Stanford's going to get punished, and I'll be there, in person to witness that. So they're going to say, Notre Dame's playing tough right now. And I see them sliding in. It'll be Georgia, it'll be Ohio State, it'll be Cincinnati, and then it'll be Notre Dame.
I look at it this way. I think the fact that Ohio State jumped Alabama was the right call. The reason being, for keep this in mind, guys, Georgia played Charleston Southern. Our score was 56-7. Ohio State did that against the top 10 team in Michigan State this past Saturday. Arkansas played Bama close, and I know it wasn't as close as it looked like. They did score toward the end of the game. Could have been interesting, but played them to 7 against Arkansas in Bryant-Denny, at that matter. It had to be made. That jump had to be made. That was pure domination from Ohio State, and led by their offense. CJ Stroud, Olave, there's so much talent there on the offense. Defensively, still got some questions for me. Just depending on how things go. But I'll tell you right now, that offense can score with anybody and probably the most put in the country. But it also told me my main takeaway from that top 4, Bama has no room for error. They have to win the SEC championship game. No question about it. To me, I think they just don't want 2 SEC schools, but you could take it how you want it.
Yeah, they don't want to see a Bama Georgia rematch in any part of it. And then the quality wins, unfortunately for Alabama. Now you've got a Florida team that is so bad that took them to the wire, and then Florida just dropped a game to Missouri. Most likely will lose to Florida State this weekend, and Florida's just in disarray, man. It's just it's wonderful. It's awesome to see.
Hey, Juan, I got a joke for you, Brigade. I got a joke for you. What does Joe Paterno and Florida have in common?
What's that?
They're both dead and irrelevant.
Yeah, they're it's Florida's, man. It's again, we got Isaiah Bond here that's at Buford, plays with my son. He decommitted. And then, you've just got some guys that are just like, hey, it's a sinking ship. And what's sad is, these are people that are decommitting without even seeing who the next coach is. So, man, it's a dumpster fire.
Now, the funny thing is, hold on, it's the irony of this, guys. If you don't keep up with Florida, I understand. But if you're a Florida fan here, you have to be. Look, there's some excitement here. Obviously, Kirby Smart was rubbing salt in the wounds, picking off your guys, right? Top guys. Julian Humphrey, Shamar James may be committing to Georgia or Bama, but we'll see. But you did lose him as a decommit. You lose Raymond Cottrell in the 2023 class, and then Isaiah Bond decommits. I'm telling you right now, the fact that Dan Mullen is gone. As soon as he's gone, you pick up a top, I think, 100 player. It's a commitment. Is it telling? Or is it just telling you how bad of a recruiter Dan Mullen was? People are going to want to play for Florida. It's just the way it is. But Dan Mullen was that bad when it comes to recruiting. He literally was just obviously it's blatant, like just not caring for recruiting. And it shows because you lose guys before. Obviously, the train's going down the tracks and it's derailing. But then, as soon as it stops, you start to see Florida back on a come up somehow. You look at you pick up the D-line commit. That's a big commit. That's their highest commit.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's without a coach. Like that just tells you how bad it was from a recruiting standpoint with Dan Mullen at the helm. Obviously, we don't know yet what's going to happen. There's some. Listening to Twitter Spaces and listening to the Florida folks, there's some hype about Billy Napier from Louisiana potentially. Lane Kiffin's name's been thrown out there. Who really knows? I'm just waiting for the dust to settle and see who gets picked. But I'm just telling you right now, I don't really know if I should be scared. I really don't. I think that's going to be an upgrade because just from a recruiting standpoint, it's going to be an upgrade. You can't go much further down. But I'm still not going to be scared because guess who we have as our head coach? I'm not worried about it. He will not let Florida beat us outside of last year. That was just inevitable. But as long as Coach Kirby Smart's as our head coach, I'm not too concerned. Especially when it comes to recruiting too. Oh no. Oh no.
It's not going to happen. And what they're building right now at Georgia. Man, it's pretty special.
I'm telling you, I hate throwing this out there. With how scary this defense, this 2022 cycle on defense is loading up to be. Add that with 2023 and how deep that is as well.
Yep.
And look at the previous years, 2020, 2021. Are you starting to see a dynasty being built at Georgia? I think so.
Yep.
And it all starts with recruiting, and that's the thing. That once Florida understands that it starts with recruiting, that's when you have to take them seriously. But as long as Dan Mullen was there, we knew it wasn't going to matter. Like I've been saying it, I'm going to keep saying it. The longer that he was there, the closer it was becoming a Mississippi State when he was head coach there. There's not even a question. Florida State, it's crazy to believe this. Florida State might actually, beat them. And if that's the case, Florida's not even going bowling this year. That just shows you how bad things fell off.
Yeah. Same with Texas. I mean, when's the last time you could think that Texas would not be bowl eligible? And that this is, it just happened
it's ridiculous.
This year. Yeah. So a lot of parity, when it comes to football this year, especially with these top teams that we just thought, man, these guys are top notch. They won't fall off for a while because of what they've built. And it's almost like it's just just crumbling down just that fast.
I'm telling you, Sam Ehlinger cursed the Texas Longhorns because if you think about this, guys, they beat a Georgia team that had just missed out on the playoffs and was really no hope in playing, no desire to play. But that comment, we're back. As soon as you did that, you cursed that team because they have been trash ever since.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, any Oklahoma fan will bring it in here. And I'm telling you right now, when you come into the SEC, expect to get your ass beat week in and week out because this ain't the Big 12, homeboy. It is not the Big 12.
Yeah, well, and Jay Shipes made a comment about Notre Dame would be a 4-loss team in the SEC.
Yeah.
I'd say the same thing for Oklahoma. I mean, there's a lot of teams. I mean, Oklahoma would have easily have had 4 losses. I mean, so and obviously Texas would have gotten run over. Texas would have been down there with the Vanderbilts and the Missouris of of the conference. And now, sadly, Florida. It's
Oh
just,
my God! Can you imagine
such a sad situation?
Look, I'm going to go back on this. Before our season, we had our projections for what we thought. I got a bunch of slack for saying Florida was going to finish 4th. Dude, they're 6th right now, and only because Vanderbilt is that bad.
Yeah,
They're that bad.
yeah, they're pretty poor this year.
Oklahoma. I have to kind of balance here. I don't see them losing 4. I see them on average maybe a 2-loss, 3-loss team. I just think I think Oklahoma can handle themselves enough with what I'm seeing them do on the defense in regards to recruiting. They're building up that defense for when it comes time to come to the SEC. We'll see what happens. Does Lincoln Riley stay? Maybe, maybe not. There's some talks about LSU and all this stuff. This is why I just let that stuff settle. I'm not one to be sitting here tracking planes and shit like that. That's just not me. It's
Right.
funny. It's funny, but I just don't feel like doing it. But look, Oklahoma offensively, it depends on their coach. But for the most part, if I'm looking at it right now, I'd say 2-loss. It's all honestly dependent on how you have them in. Do you do the East-West split or do you do pods? Because that can make or break, in my opinion, how teams, their schedules play out, and honestly, the wins, losses too. Because I mean, if you play the pods, I think there's a chance that you could see 3 losses, more so than anything. Depends depends on who you get too, right?
I think a nice welcoming gift for both Texas and Oklahoma would
give
be
them what Arkansas had to go through last year.
Yeah, give them Alabama, Arkansas, give them Auburn, Georgia, give them Tennessee. And that'd be kind of tough on them, man. It'd be nice though to see how do you respond to all that power, all of that just pure SEC. Here it is, right in your face.
I'm just saying this right here. If this happens in Oklahoma or Texas, right? Look, Oklahoma fans have been thinking that they can handle and run through the SEC anyway. Not saying they couldn't, but if you give them the best of the best, give them an Alabama, LSU, A&M, Georgia. I wouldn't even say Florida. Fuck Florida right now. Kentucky, Tennessee, or whatever you want to do. Give them the best of the best.
Mississippi State, the way Mississippi State is playing right now.
You're right. It's ridiculous. Who would have thought Will Rogers would have been tearing it up and then be bowling already?
Yes, exactly.
Like, it's just, I don't know if it's just a crazy ass year or what. But look, hey, we're gonna do a quick break. On the flip side, we're gonna talk a little bit more here. We're gonna talk a little bit of transition over to Thanksgiving. We're gonna talk a little bit about this. We're gonna have some hot takes here that might maybe be happy or be pissing people off. But after this break, we'll come back and we'll talk some Thanksgiving.
They say every watch tells a story. Family, moments, lifetimes. With La Touraine, this is a watch that spans generations, not just from where it came from, but for where it will go. Knowing one of these, having one of these, is what being a professional, being casual, and being you is all about. From our family to yours, La Touraine.
Just want to make sure we are back. But to be looking at La Touraine, the show is sponsored by La Touraine. Use code DGD at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. I'm telling you right now, Black Friday specials are coming up, guys, and you're about to see some ridiculous deals at La Touraine. Get you a watch for a Christmas present. They have glasses, sunglasses, different accessories. Give them a look. Check out the website, la-touraine.com. Use code DGD, 10% off your purchase. Look, with the Black Friday sales, I'm telling you, you'll want to look into it. I love the product. I got a Compass on right now. Great watch. Just saying. And it's affordable. Keep that in mind. With that being said, though, Juan, tomorrow, Thanksgiving, I'm going to start off with a hot take here about Thanksgiving. Cranberry sauce, overrated.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Overrated. Now, I'll tell you what, though. I love Thanksgiving because honestly, look, it's not about the food as much as it is, getting with family, and really being thankful for, everything. Try to be thankful for everything. Everybody's situation being different, right? But if you have the perfect plate, Juan, what is on your perfect plate for Thanksgiving?
For me, it's going to be macaroni and cheese.
Gotta have it.
Honey baked ham, 100%. My mom does this. She cooks lamb as well, so that lamb, it hits pretty hard. And then we have some broccoli casserole. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it's amazing. I'm not a turkey guy at all, or like I said, the cranberry sauce and all that. That's just my perfect plate. And then, of course, for dessert, it's going to be lemon pound cake. That is my absolute favorite. Yeah. So.
All right. I have to give you mine. Look, big boy season is upon us. Look, those diets, guys, for the most part, are going to be pushed aside for tomorrow. Yeah. Wear your sweatpants. You'll need them. Give you some space. But if I had to choose my perfect plate, first off, turkey and ham. I want some turkey and some ham. Both go very well, complement each other. Mac and cheese is a must. Mac and cheese is about Matthew Judon. If you're listening to this, you, sir, are crazy for not liking macaroni and cheese. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Mac and cheese. Candied yams. Gotta have, or whatever the case is, dealing with sweet potatoes, right? Candied yams, amazing. Then you gotta have a nice roll and some gravy for the turkey.
Yeah.
Get some gravy for the turkey. Dressing.
Oh yeah, forgot about dressing.
I call it dressing. Everybody's whatever. Look, I'm telling you right there. And then for dessert, give me a Dutch apple pie with some Cool Whip on it, or sweet potato pie. Sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
See, Jermaine even says he's lactose intolerant and he loves mac and cheese.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's just something you have to suffer through. Even if you can't do it, you suffer through it because it's that good.
Right. I wonder if anybody in the brigade, is there anybody that can cook or is cooking Thanksgiving this year? Send me a plate.
I'll tell you what, Juan. I'm going. So I'm doing some traveling, but when I get there, I'm making some homemade mac and cheese, man. Oh, see, Joel's calling me out, saying, real whipped cream, no Cool Whip. Hey, man, look, sometimes it's okay to be cheap, but I get your point. But no, there's so much stuff there, right? And you get football, right? What better way to do it than sit there, eat a huge ass plate of food, watch some football, possibly take a nap, right? Depending on how it goes. It's just perfect day, man. It's a perfect day. But to bring the football into it, Egg Bowl. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
That's going to be a ridiculous game. And it's supposed to be, first off, supposed to be raining. But it's supposed to get cold.
Oh, that's going to be tough for Matt Corral and those receivers. Man,
it's also going to be tough for Will Rogers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's going to be, that right there, they're playing for pride right now. Ole Miss started off hot. Now they just kind of cooled down a little bit. Mississippi State started off cool, and now they're hot. So I tell you what, that's going to be a good game. That's another good old fashioned hate. They're playing for some pride. Lane Kiffin, and then of course you got the Pirate,
the candy corn hating, Pirate be rating.
Yeah.
Mike Leach.
Mike Leach, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. And let me just tell you, that may be. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a 105 to maybe 102 game right there. There's going to be a lot. Mike Leach likes to throw it around. Lane Kiffin likes to throw it around. I know it's going to be raining, but I think that's maybe a high-scoring game.
You talk about Leach wanting to throw it around. That's all they do. They don't run.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't care anything about defense at all. That's going to be one of those basketball scores.
Look, I'm telling you right now, if you're playing defense tomorrow in the Egg Bowl, just wear normal clothes because you're going to be warm. You're going to be running back and forth. You're going to be hot. You're going to be hot.
Yeah.
You're going to be running so much, man.
That's going to be it's a true track meet.
Look, I'm just telling you right now, though. You want to know what makes this? You want to know what makes this so intriguing to me? Lane and Leach.
Yeah.
They're national treasures. National treasures, especially Leach.
Yep.
The post-game conferences are going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be. It's going to be.
To hear about that.
It's going to be just two unique, different personalities, but all the same. It's going to be awesome.
Oh,
it's going to be great.
Now, I don't. Thinking about it though, I do think Ole Miss pulls out the win. I think it's going to be closer than what people think. I think it's going to be high scoring, but not as high scoring as people think it will be. And I think the weather, honestly, will play a big part in that because the ball changes when the ball will move.
Agreed.
So maybe I just counterbalance myself and you start to see, a higher score, right?
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
So, thinking about that right there, the ball being able to move farther, you're going to see some deep shots. It's going to be interesting. Looking at the brigade, though, I asked, what was your perfect play? And we have a response, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Joel Sanders, his plate consists of ham, turkey, green bean casserole, pistachio fluff salad, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, rolls, and stuffing. Big plate. That sounds so good, though.
Until we get, like I said, we just need to have some clarification on what the pistachio fluff salad is. I'm not really sure what's in that. It may be like the potato salad with raisins in it. I'm not really sure.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Maybe Joel. Oh, sorry. Whoops. My fault.
Oh, yeah.
I felt stupid.
Well, now that I guess that makes the pistachio fluff salad. Now it makes more sense because I don't think I've ever heard of a guy eating something like that. But hey, to each their own.
Fair enough. I'm not going to put it past anybody in 2021.
Yes, sir, Jermaine. I see what I prefer: leftovers the next day, turkey sandwich, dressing, mac and cheese, Hawaiian rolls, and deviled eggs. My man.
I'll tell you this.
All day.
Look, the leftovers, right? The leftovers you can create some treasure when it comes to foods. I'll tell you one of the things I like doing: taking the ham, cutting it up, and making another thing of mac and cheese because more likely it's going to be gone. Hold on. Yeah. Put it together. Cook it together. And it's like a ham and cheese hot pocket basically, but without the bread, right? It slaps. It's amazing. And then obviously people making turkey salad. My family makes turkey salad and does it that way. It'll make sandwiches with it. Look, give me ham though. I don't like turkey leftover. Not like just pure turkey leftover.
Yeah.
But mac and cheese, if you have leftover mac and cheese is perfect anyway. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. It's delicious.
No matter what. Yeah.
It's delicious.
So, Joel, when you get a chance, send us a picture or let us know, and maybe even send us some of that pistachio fluff salad so we can try it, and maybe that'll be something we can add to our list.
Look, if look at this, for anybody that's curious, at the DGD Podcast, tweet us a picture of your plate on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's what's up.
We'll look. Our next show, we're going to do a recap. I need people. I need plates. Tweet it.
You'll definitely get mine. So,
I mean, look, I'm not going to say you won't. You got to be careful. You might catch me mid-bite on something.
Right. All right. So this is what it is. It's pistachio pudding, whipped cream. Let's see. I don't know what that is. Maraschino.
Cherry.
Yeah, cherries, crushed pineapples, pistachios, and pecans. I say pecans. Some people say pecans. I don't know. And then, boom, it's good. It's called Watergate salad. So
you know what though? That's the great debate. To hell with all this rivalry talk. Is it pecan or pecan? To me,
yeah.
I'm telling you. To me, I think it's pecan, but at the same time, that's the great debate.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and here we go, Jermaine. We've got our first Sam I Am. Right here. He says, I don't like ham, Sam. I don't like ham, Sam. I am. So he'll eat us, he'll eat us ham sandwich but it just tastes different to him. So
I'll tell you what, though, give me a ham sandwich, the Hawaiian rolls, give me Hawaiian rolls and some ham on there and some Swiss cheese and get that cheese melted up. Done.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But look, I'm just a connoisseur of ham. So I'll eat it regardless. I don't care if it's plain. I don't care. I'll eat it. Give it to me.
Right.
It's like bacon. I'll eat it with about anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look, there's so much food to talk about. Saturday, obviously, we won't have a show until next week. Which game are you looking forward to the most this Saturday?
Michigan, Ohio State. You know what? It's Ohio State's chance to separate, or it's Michigan's chance to get in. So that's going to be a make or break game. Georgia Tech game is not going to be very good. I don't necessarily see Auburn being that. Auburn, Alabama being that good. I mean, Alabama they're going to be preparing for that SEC's championship. TJ Finley, pretty good quarterback, not very mobile. I just see them just kind of keeping him in the pocket, forcing him to throw. I just don't see them, doing a whole lot. So that Michigan Ohio State big time rivalry, and this is pretty much for all the marbles.
I'm with you. I think that's the most important game. The game that I'm going to be most interested in seeing is, can Auburn play spoiler against Alabama? I don't expect it, but it's in Jordan-Hare, and crazy shit happens when you play there. Just saying. Crazy stat, Nick Saban has not won in Jordan-Hare since 2015, I think it was.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Last two times they've played, they have lost. And honestly, it's going to be completely interesting. Look, Bo Nix being out, what does Finley bring to that team? What can he do? It's going to be interesting to see. Look, they just got beat by South Carolina, though. So to me, like I said, I don't see.
Yeah,
this
and that's
game
with
being
TJ
close.
Finley playing the whole game. And for them to get beat by South Carolina, that
is
was
not
just
good.
That's not good. Another game of interest. It's going to be that Oklahoma State game.
Deadlock.
That's going to be a game of interest. If Oklahoma State can beat Oklahoma, now they're going to be in the talks for, will they be able to get into that Final Four? Because then they also have to go and play a pretty good Baylor team in that Big 12 championship if they were to go make it. So,
is it crazy to believe that potentially how things play out, you could see Oklahoma State in the playoffs?
Yeah, Oklahoma State in that top four.
More reason for Georgia to win in Atlanta, so that you play a 4 seed that you're going to boat race
and win convincingly. We have an opportunity to really just win convincingly. So, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait.
I got to read this. I have to read this. Jay Scheitz asks what the prize is for tweeting out your plate. Look, first off, I'll even do this. I'm going to do a rate your plate. All right. So Thursday, probably Friday, probably late Thursday, I'll be in a place with hardly any service. So post your plates, and we're going to do a rate your plate. And me and Juan can look at them. We'll rate them. We'll comment the number 1 to 10. Whoever gets the highest gets a shout out and a potential invite on the show next week.
Oh, that's what's up. And we're going to have to obviously delete Joel from the group because she's saying pecan, not pecan. So we can't. We don't need that. We don't need that negativity on the.
No, I'm with you.
On the show.
I'm a pecan. It's okay. This is the great debate right here. You could spend 45 minutes like we're doing right now just talking pecan.
Yeah,
right? It can happen.
It's going to be tough. But I like what Jermaine said. Jermaine said, I just want Auburn and Bama to have their usual slobber knocker battle. Bama should be a little beat up heading into that SEC championship game. I agree. And let me just tell you, I'm going to we really need to get rid of Joel now. I mean, it's a fair statement, but we really need to get rid of her. But I agree. I think that, that's a good old fashioned rivalry game. Auburn's got something to prove. But if they, Alabama has a tougher game than Georgia does. So if Auburn can knock Alabama around a little bit, before that SEC championship game, that's going to be great.
Yep, we're going to do this right here, Juan. We're going to do 2 predictions, 2 questions with a prediction, and then we're going to wrap this thing up and let everybody go into their Thanksgiving holiday ready to go. All right. Look, first question is this: what is your score prediction for the Georgia Tech game Saturday?
I'm going to go with 59-0. Here was an interesting stat. I want to say that Georgia has not scored in their times playing. Georgia Tech scored, I think, more than 45, I think it was. So I think that they want to make a statement. They saw Notre Dame do it, so they want to make a statement. So I'm going to go with 59-0.
I like it. I'm going to go right now. I think you got 57-0. Wait, yeah, no, sorry, 56-0.
All right.
Sorry, I had to do my math. I think it's a complete shutout. I don't see Georgia Tech move. Might do better against this defense than what we're seeing with Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I don't know. It's just going to get ugly.
Yeah,
it's just going to get ugly. Second question: do we see George Pickens play Saturday?
I say yeah. I mean, why not give him? And this is just me. I'm a fan. I see that. Why not have George Pickens get the opportunity to get his feet wet against a Georgia Tech team? See how he responds. Going through practice and then actually playing in a game is completely different. And so why not have that? And then what that does for Alabama, that's a nightmare because, they were not expecting to prepare for a George Pickens. Now you have to readjust your game plan to what do we need to do to stop George Pickens? And, then George Pickens, he's going to open up the stage truly for Brock Bowers and everybody else that's going to be out. And he also opens up the running game as well. So.
I think you do. And hear me out. Here's how this progresses. Wednesday, today. No, actually not Wednesday. I'm going to say Friday. He gets clearance. Just hypothetically speaking, this would be ridiculous, but Friday gets cleared. Saturday dresses out as he saw last week, but he gets in there for a few plays, just enough to get his feet wet, understanding the route. He's been practicing with second, third team and the scout team for a minute. I want to say a few weeks now, getting the calls and things like that. So to me, I think you have to get him some kind of just get him into the game speed, if anything. You don't even have to throw to him. Get him into game speed, block, run on it against somebody.
Right.
Get his confidence up a little bit, right? Those injuries are confidence injuries. Get those legs under you, get more confidence. Come ready for Bama. Bama's going to have to try to figure that if it comes in ready to play. You're going to have to try to figure that out on top of Bowers, which is already a mismatch nightmare.
Yeah.
I hope Darnell gets some passes against Bama. He can tear them up. Run him right where Will Anderson's coming off of. Done. Before we'll read one comment here. Who knows about the two different cornbreads? Jermaine King asks. The black skillet can't swallow it without a beverage cornbread, and the so sweet that it tastes like cake, like Jiffy. That homemade cornbread does choke you up like a Popeye's biscuit, but it's delicious.
It hits all the way different. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I like them both.
Yeah.
I like them both because depending on what you use it with, Jiffy cornbread can really hit differently too. Yeah. But I like both of them because let's be honest, that skillet cornbread, a little bit, I would say like a neutral to like a little bit more bitter, not like a lot less sweet, I should say. Boy, that stuff is so thick it'll soak up any type of soup you need.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God, Jermaine King cornbread stuffed with sausage.
Yeah.
Wow.
That actually sounds good. I see there the cornbread. I'll pass on the apples, but the cornbread stuff with sausage all day. All day.
God, man. Look,
all
this food talk. What's causing all this? All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting me hungry right now.
Yeah.
Right? Look, that's all we have for today's show. Stick around for the Q&A. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. And look, I'm just telling you right now. I want every one of you listening and watching to give your plate before you dive in. I want you to talk to your plate. Give it the epic pregame speech. And on that note, have a great day. Think about the speech though.
I still remember like yesterday walking out of this bitch at the half. The look and the feeling I had, looking at Tyson, looking at Stokes, looking at those guys. You know what, guys? This is our fucking year. This is our fucking year. We do it by how we play. It's 0 to fucking 0, and you make them never want to play again. All that shit they're talking, I love it, Jamar. You didn't say shit. You don't say shit to them. You just laugh and point at the scoreboard. Let me get a picture, JD, pointing at the fucking scoreboard. Don't say shit to their undisciplined ass, because we are disciplined. And our ass still don't take the fucking shit out of them. Physically, I want to break them. I'm talking about fucking break these bitches on defense and offense. Let's go, defense.
I'm just letting you know right now, that's going to be my pregame speech to my plate. All right, I'm just going to let you know that right now.
I love it.
When I'm talking about breaking bitches, I'm talking about breaking off my cornbread into pieces and eating it with some whatever you want to eat it with.
Yes,
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Get you hyped up, man. Make you want to eat 2 plates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That sounds great.
Because I'm telling you right now, discipline ain't going to matter when you're full like that. All right?
Yeah.
Shit happens. All right, guys. Here for the Q&A. I want to let the brigade start this off. Jermaine said the perfect question. Are we pulling for Michigan this weekend? Juan, what do you think? Are you pulling for Michigan?
No, I'm pulling for Ohio State. I want a really good national championship. And I love what Ohio State's going to bring. But again, when it comes down to it, those boys haven't been hit yet. And I'm talking about they have not been hit yet. And just listening to that hype thing, that hype recording with Kirby. Once Ohio State just gets an opportunity to feel that, to be just broken, man, oh man, like that's what's going to set up for something that's great. And also too, I truly believe that they're gonna. I want Georgia to play the best of the best. I'd love for Cincinnati to creep in there at 4. That'd be great. You'll have that rematch from last year, but this time, instead of just winning by a field goal, let's win by like 30, 40 points. I mean, really just show Cincinnati all of that hype and all these things that these commentators were saying Cincinnati did not belong there, and then let's go up there and beat the absolute brakes off of Ohio State. I want an Ohio State-Georgia matchup.
I agree with you, but for me, I'm looking at it as a win-win either way. I want Ohio State to play for the title. I do. I think that'd be a great game, and I think it'll be a telltale with a lot of bragging rights. But if Michigan wins, I'm not going to be disappointed anyway because, in my opinion, it's long overdue. Ohio State is long overdue for an ass whipping in that game. Can Michigan do it? And I think they have Aiden Hutchinson, and that defense can be tricky for that offense. And let's be honest, all they got to do is just be able to move the ball, and they can keep up with it because Ohio State's defense is not as great as it typically is. Either way, I think Ohio State does win this game. I want Michigan to win it, but I don't care who wins it. It's a win-win for Georgia, in my opinion.
Right.
If you win, more than likely you're going to get to play Ohio State anyway. If Michigan wins, that adds to that rivalry, brings it back some because it's been almost a decade or more that Ohio State just ran roughshod over that rivalry, kind of similar to what we see with Georgia Tech. Make that game fun. Michigan in the playoffs. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Either way, I just, I want a good 4. I want a good 4. I want it to be challenging. And it's, one of those situations where Georgia could say, listen, I played the best of the best, the absolute best of the best.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it makes for great football. And I wish Oregon wouldn't have lost. I want to see the West Coast involved somehow, but at the end of the day, we can't tell them to, that they got to get better on their own. So, look, Utah beat the shit out of them. And do I see it again? I think Oregon wins the championship game.
Right.
But it's too little too late. It's just too little too late.
Yeah.
Jermaine says he wants the easiest path to victory, take the blowout national championship win, like the Braves 7-0 Game 6 win in the World Series. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Still chopping, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look,
I mean, I like that, obviously too. But as good as this Georgia team is, I'm going to tell you, Jermaine, whatever path that we take, it's going to be the easiest. I really truly feel that because again, times before we'd be like, oh, here comes the same old Georgia. Here comes the same old, they're playing down the. They are not playing down to competition. There's no doubt. There's not a single game that they played, except for the first one. The first one's going to be a tough one where they said, hey, man, that was close. And there was a good chance that Georgia could have lost that one. Every other game that they've played after that, I mean, has just been complete domination. And it's just like the Alabamas, how they've been year after year. They just have completely dominated these guys and just left no doubt. And this is what we truly have this year.
So I agree with that. And moving on to the next question here. Jay Shipes says, I'm going to have to put spoon-sized servings to get 17 things on just one plate. Maybe I'll just do 2 plates. Will it count against me with 2 plates? I think what you need to do here, if you're doing the rate my plate, you have to let me know that it's a thread so that I can look at both plates and count equally, right?
My man, Jay is my dude.
I can't be mad with that, though, because I've had 2-plate Thanksgivings, all right?
I love it, man. I love it.
So I understand the struggle. Even with the bigger plates, man, sometimes you're still not enough. And sometimes you can't stack up either because depending on what it is, and people can be picky. They don't want their stuff touching like that. So if you do 2, just let me know 1 of 2, 2 of 2. That way we can look at it collectively and see what you got. I think that'd be fun.
Yes, that'd be great,
plate, man.
My man, Green Soldier. Yeah, I don't care as long as we handle business in ATL, which we will. We will handle business in ATL. If we play everyone that's easier, I don't care. I love it. I love it, Green Soldier. I mean, it's finally time that us as Georgia fans have that confidence. Now we can just talk it. I mean, we can talk that talk instead of, just having that, oh, well, I'm hoping, or I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to, hey, let's just talk it. I mean, it's here. Let's go do it. So I love it. Love the confidence.
I think for me, look, I am that optimistic skepticist, right? I think once we handle business against Georgia Tech, come Saturday, my mentality switches around to be like, yep, it's time. Because to me, you looking back through the several years, right? You look at 2018 LSU, you look at 2019 South Carolina. Those 2 games haunted me to the point where I can't feel comfortable until the end of the regular season. And especially with how crazy this season's been, I don't want to leave it to them nerds down there in Atlanta to spoil the party.
Right.
Look, this game, I mean, let's be honest. If Georgia does what we're supposed to do, which I think we will, the mystique and the hype around this SEC championship game is insane. But what happens if What happens if Georgia gets beat by Georgia Tech? What does that do to that conference championship? Does it make it even better knowing that whoever wins is going to the playoffs and whoever doesn't goes home? I mean, there's 2 sides to that, right? Yeah. It'd be definitely interesting, I think. But I don't want to find out. I want to come in there 12-0. I want to beat the shit out of whoever's in front of us. Green also says he hopes Chris Smith is good to go as well. Knee issues can be a problem, but he's got 2.5 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I know yesterday I think Kirby mentioned that he was still kind of not doing much right now. Those things are tricky too, but I think, maybe Georgia Tech's another week where he kind of relaxes and whatnot and gets rest. And then come Bama time, having him – look, Dan Jackson's doing a great job, but I want to be as healthy as I can be going against Bama because I don't want to leave any reason for excuses for either us or Bama. I don't want to hear excuses. You play against who you play, and you beat the team in front of you, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear people talk about the refs, shit like that. I don't care for that. Make it to the point, get it to a point where the refs aren't a problem or a factor in the decision of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. But, here's the other thing. There's blood in the water. Jimbo Fisher became the first, that assistant to beat Nick Saban. They beat him. Now Kirby and that whole thing of, can any of his assistants beat him or do it? That's gone. That veil has been torn. Now, I mean, everything is just wide open, and it's just time for us to go ahead and then just absolutely just dismantle Alabama to the point. And here's what we want to do, right? We want to beat Alabama comfortably to the point to where they're no longer in the discussion of even being in the top 4. We eliminate them. Yeah, but because and Alabama's that team you don't want to play twice. So why don't you just go ahead and beat them? Beat them and absolutely just throttle them to the point to where there's no question.
I'm sure Kirby's telling that to him come time for the game, leading up to it. Because I mean, you're right. We talked about Utah and Oregon, trying to beat each other twice, right? Utah trying to beat Oregon for a second time. Any level, we talked about on the Twitter space, any level, beating a team multiple times, beating the same team is never easy. And Bama makes it that much difficult because they're one of the best teams in country.
Right.
So do what you got to do to knock them out of the way and only have to play them once. Am I scared to play them twice? No. But if I have my say and I have the, if I can decide my fate and control that, why would I not?
Right. Well, and you're sitting there, you go back to, that year that Auburn just beat the brakes off of Georgia in the regular season, came back in the SEC championship, and then got the brakes beat off of them. So, yeah, they did. I see a go Utah here. I'm going to tell you right now, Utah, if not for some early season losses, they would be definitely in the talk right now. The way that they beat Oregon, I mean, they absolutely just dismantled.
That is a convincing, dominating win.
It was a crushing. And then, of course, what they did to, that poor Stanford team, man, they beat the absolute brakes off 52-7. And this is that same, that same Stanford team that beat Oregon, earlier in the year. So, Utah is going to be that team that I think in years to come, they're going to be a team to look out for. So I guess maybe Joel has a point.
Yeah,
one of the first and only points that she's been on the podcast.
I got a question for you, Juan, and we'll end on this. We'll end on this question right here, guys. Isaiah Bond decommits from Florida. A lot of talk about Bama, Georgia, with things opening up. Where do you think he goes?
If he were smart, and if this were me and I was in that situation, I'd go to Georgia. Georgia has, they have Denylon Morset, coming in, maybe another guy coming in. But if you're looking at, what you have, you've got some guys that are there at Georgia that are pretty much going to be, exiting and going, in the next year or two. So he's going to have an opportunity to go out there and play pretty early. But then you have to look at the pipeline, right? So I don't know who Alabama's backup quarterback is. I have no idea who it is. I know Bryce Young, but you could not tell me or who they have coming up. But with Georgia, you have you have Vandergriff that's going to be coming up. You've got Gunnar Stockton that's also going to be coming in. There's a potential that that Georgia gets Arch Manning. So you're going to have a dynasty and just an embarrassment of riches when it comes to quarterbacks of guys who's going to get you the football. Whereas at Alabama, you just don't know who's going to be waiting in the wings and who's going to be able to take over. So, but that's just me. That would make the most sense is to go to Georgia. He'll be a hometown guy. People will love him there. So why not stay home?
And you control your recent team.
Yes. Yep.
Now, you know what, though? I look at it this way. I think, to your point there, to add on to that, and I'll keep it brief, the decision for him to go to Georgia makes sense. Looking at what he can bring to the table at speed and, and what he brings to the table, I think just fits. People can question Todd Monken leaving. I'm just saying right now, Buster Faulkner, if he retained him, it's going to be the same old thing.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Alabama, they have Ty Simpson coming in for 2022, but there's that question, right? Like seeing what they do. Either team's going to give you the ball. They can find ways to get you the ball. They can scheme it open. Right now, I think Todd Monken's a better offensive coordinator than Bill O'Brien, and I know that may sound crazy to some, but in my opinion, I just think so. He's utilizing Stetson Bennett's abilities and turning this offense into an elite offense. I'm not saying it's like the best offense in the country, but it's still enough Excuse me. But you also look at, with JT in, his scheming just works for both guys. So I think my thing is I hope he ends at Georgia. I could see him going to Bama. I'm just going to let my man pick where he wants to go and be happy for him wherever he decides to take his talents. So long as it ain't Florida, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, guys, that is all we have. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Hey, remember, Twitter, #RateMyPlate, #BonesBrigade. I'll set up a thread. Comment there. Make sure to do the hashtag, though. That's going to get this thing popping. I want to see a lot of things. And have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.